Hey guys, it's been a long time, but I'm back. I was on vacation and camp and I just didn't feel like reading, so I did not, but school's tomorrow, so I had to read a couple summer reading books for English class. So one of them was Huckleberry Finn, which took me like 3 weeks to get through. That was difficult. But I read this one in a day, Into the Wild by Jon Krakauer. And it is a movie, and this is the actor from the movie, but the real guy, it's a true story. The real guy, they have a picture of him. So I wasn't originally going to talk about this book, but it has some pretty cool, things to think about. I don't know, some theories and whatnot. So, brief synopsis, basically there's this kid named Chris McCandless. He lives in Washington, D.C., rich family, super smart, but he hates his family, especially his dad, and so he wants to get away, and he realizes that there's more to life than school, graduating, marrying someone, having kids, retiring, dying. He realized that he wants his life to be more exciting and to live it, and I totally agree with him. So after college, a couple days after college, he pieces out of that town and he gives $25,000 in savings to charity because he was going to go to law school or something. He abandoned his car and most of his possessions, burned all the cash in his wallet, and invented a new life for himself. So he graduated from college in, I think, 1990. And then he left and hitchhiked to the west, to California, South Dakota, Oregon, and he spent 2 years just hitchhiking, working for people, trying to live off his own and live off land, kind of. He wasn't that much in the wilderness at that point. So for the 2 years, his parents didn't know where he was, and he just didn't want anything to do with them. So that's for about 2 years, and that's a major portion of the book, I would say. This is written in third person by John. So even though when Chris leaves Washington, D.C., he changes his name to Alexander Supertramp, or he goes by that. So Alex and Chris are the same person. So, okay. What was I saying? Oh, Chris kept a diary, though. So I kind of wish that this was his diary, but I guess there wasn't enough in it for a book. But John does a really, really nice job he did a lot of research into it and went to the different people that Chris met and talked to and stuff. So you see their point of views of him as well. The only bad thing about this book is that John kind of goes into other men who went to the wild stories. He'll talk about, I think it's somewhere around 5 or 6 probably other men that got lost in the wild. Most of them died, and so he goes through those, and I mean, that was interesting to read. I kind of wish it was just a little section in the back of the book because it took away from Chris's story, in my opinion. John went into his story a little bit because he used to be an explorer guy, and he climbed a mountain, and that was 2 or 3 chapters, and I just wanted to know what happened to Chris, so I don't know, that kind of bored me a little bit, but I still think it's cool. Whatever, okay. Anyways, back to the point. So, in South Dakota and California for 2 years, and then in 1992, I think it was August of 1992, he hitchhikes to Alaska, which is the thing he was looking forward to the most. I guess, I don't know why he traveled around for 2 years. So he went to Alaska. He didn't have any supplies, or because it was about to be winter, because it was August, and he didn't have any supplies or anything like that, any clothes or food. So the people that he met were kind of worried about him, but I mean, they trusted him. So he went to Alaska for about 100 days, and he found this bus. I'll show you the real picture of him. He found this bus that he stayed in for 100 days. And during that time, he just totally lived off the land. And he shot squirrels and ate them, and a moose and birds. And he found berries and stuff like that. And John talked about how most of Chris's diary was about food. So that's really all you get, and just like the adventures that he went through in Alaska. And then I don't want to spoil the ending because it's so good. You'll have to read it for yourself because it gets pretty intense. So, yeah. John also talks about how a lot of people didn't like Chris and what he did. A lot of people talked about how he was just like a stupid, ignorant kid who went into the wild and didn't know what he was doing. And like a lot of people thought that. When in my opinion, I think it's like really cool what he did, personally. Just because I do agree with the fact that I get so tired of just going to school every day and blah blah, which I know is like a part of life, but I wish that I could just like leave it all and just do something with my life, you know? It's kind of like Kisses from Katie where she just leaves and goes to Africa. Like, why can't I do that? It's such a good book and it's really well written. It gets to the point. It's a pretty short book, so it gets to the point, and except for the few minor little stories, but I really liked it. I would recommend reading it in one sitting just because he goes to so many different places that you might like lose track if you pick it up a few days later. But yeah, and like Chris, he had like a funny personality. He was described as super intense and just wanting adventure, and it was riveting, a tragic story, well told, absorbing. That's all I have to say. It's a good book. I would recommend picking it up if I were you, but that's just my opinion. And let me know what you think, if you think Chris was stupid or if he was cool, because it'd be interesting to see what people have to say about him. I personally think it was awesome what he did, but that's just me. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. I'll try and read more, even though school starts tomorrow. Oh well. Bye, guys.